Hello, dear friends, and welcome back to my channel. Before we get to the main part of the video, I'd like to take you for a little walk with me because the weather is beautiful this morning, and this morning that's Sunday. It is the last warm day, and we're going to get a lot of rain tomorrow, so I'm making the most of the last sunny day. So I'm taking you to a small forest I own, a little woodland. It is a tiny place, as you can see. It has a total of 5 large trees, but that place is mine. The trees there are absolutely magical, and for me, it's one of the most romantic places in the world. Here is where I come to relax or even to hide away from the world. And I needed this walk this morning because my circumstances have changed a little bit. I am no longer with my boyfriend and I have moved back to my cottage full time. And although it was my decision, it might take some time to process it, and that's okay. Living here full time now gives me more time to fix this place up, so it was a good decision. So I hope you enjoyed today's content. I will take you to a beautiful harvest festival, and I'll give you a recipe for a freezer meal where you can use all your tomato and pepper surplus, and I will also give you a very easy recipe for my famous mixed pickles. So yes, let's get on with it. So, the trip I went on with mom and dad was to a village called Hoslovice, and Hoslovice is at the south of the country. It's only about half an hour drive from my place, so it's very close, and the whole village is very picturesque. It's definitely worth visiting, even if just for a short walk down to the watermill. And the watermill is where the harvest festival is taking place, and the place was founded around 1350, and in 2008 it became a part of our national heritage. The place works as a museum as well, so you can get a peek into what life was all those centuries ago. It looks very romantic, and it is beautiful. It is very well managed, and definitely worth visiting. We had a chance to not only walk through the whole area, but we also had a chance to try some of the old crafts, and as romantic as it sounds or looks, this job was actually quite hard, and I cannot imagine myself doing this day by day for the whole duration of the wheat harvest. It makes me more appreciate that I can just go to the shop and buy a loaf of bread. We had a chance to see lots of handmade items being made there at the premises. And of course, there was a craft fair, so I could not resist. I can never resist a well handmade items. I simply can't say no. So obviously, I did buy something. I have no self control. We also had a chance to see how the traditional Czech pies are made in an old tile oven, and we were allowed to try some as well, which was fantastic. They were absolutely delicious. They had some with cottage cheese and poppy seeds, and some with blueberries, and the whole place smelled incredibly.
na ně koukal chvíli.
Někde je na stříbrný.
Je malá vesnička, loučil se tam je nic milou, plakala Anička. Loučil se tam je nic milou, plakala Anička.
Now, what I find the most fascinating and the most beautiful at events like this is the traditional costumes, the traditional dresses and the headdresses and the music. So now I'm just going to leave you to enjoy a little bit of the local folklore.
Dostaneš mě kurku z povidly, dostaneš mě kurku z povidly. Jen si až nešky spolejdou, jen si až nešky spolejdou. Viděli jsme žito i pšeničku.
So the first promised recipe is for a freezer meal that will remind you in the middle of winter what actually summer tastes like. You need onions, tomatoes and peppers. I don't have as many peppers as I would like to have, but the varieties I have are actually quite cool. So first of all, you need to cut up your onions. You slice them up. I cannot give you measurements of how much of what to use. It really depends on your preferences. If you like more onions in your meals, add more onions. If you prefer more peppery taste, add more peppers. It is really up to you. You start with frying these onions, and then you cut up your vegetables into chunks of your preference. Again, it is all up to you. I prefer larger chunks of vegetables, but some people make the mixture very fine. You just need to remove the core from the peppers. Don't worry too much about the seeds, they will do no harm. And the same with tomatoes. I just cut them up into chunks. I don't peel them, I don't take the seeds out. I just put them in as they are and cook them on a stove for a good 15 to 20 minutes until the whole mixture softens up and the tomatoes let out all the juices. Now, some people store these in jars and water bake them. I prefer to put them in a freezer, so I prepare my Ziploc bags, and I'm using the 1 liter ones because they're the perfect size for what I need. Once the mixture is cooked, I let it cool down and then fill the bags, and when I'm ready to eat this, I just defrost it, warm it up. You can add some meat like sausages or even chicken or pork meat, and when the mixture is boiling, you add eggs. Again, depending on your preference, you can add 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 eggs, and then we serve this with bread or boiled potatoes. And the second recipe or a tutorial is for mixed pickles. You can use basically any vegetables you like, either from the shop or from your garden. Here I'm using cucumbers, and I'll be also adding cauliflower, which I bought in a shop, and I'm adding some onions and carrots. Now, because these cucumbers are a bit old and large, they have lots of seeds inside, which are not that tasty when they're pickled. I take the seeds out and I cut the cucumbers into small chunks. I actually make them in bite-sized chunks because I like pickles as a little snack. So these are to be picked basically straight from the jar and enjoy as a little snack. I'm doing the same with the cauliflower. I'm just taking the florets apart into small bite-sized pieces. If you've never tried pickled cauliflower, please do so. You have never tried better vegetable for pickling, I swear. I am also adding a clove of garlic to each jar, and if there is an advice you want to take from this video, please add garlic to your pickles. It is a game changer, and you know what? Crunching on a pickled garlic is a whole new level of awesomeness. So I've got all my vegetables ready. As you can see, I'm reusing old jars from sauces, from mayonnaise, from anything. As long as the lid is still okay, it's absolutely okay to use them. The jars obviously need to be washed thoroughly to make sure nothing goes wrong with your pickles. Adding the vegetables in no particular order. So I put the cucumbers in, cauliflower, carrots and onions, and on the top I'm using this preservative mixture, which can be missed if you don't like to use it. I don't know if you have something like this in your country, but other than this, I'm using 2 spoons of sugar to each jar. This is what makes it so beautiful. Each jar is a different size, so each jar of pickles will taste a little bit different, but they all taste magnificent. And the vinegar might be a bit of an issue because you wouldn't believe how difficult it is to find the same vinegar in different countries. I mean, I tried different vinegar in England, different vinegar in China, and as you can see, the vinegar here in the Czech Republic, it's an 8% vinegar, and it has this lovely golden color. And I measured in the glass how much it's seven spoons, so I make my life a little bit easier and add it to each jar. And then I top the jar with a little sprig of dill and 1 bay leaf. I also add 3 allspices in each jar, and also I add 4 peppercorns. I double check the recipe to make sure everything is in, and the final bit is top up the jars with water, almost to the brim, leave a little bit of space up there. Now comes the most important part. Tie the lid on as tightly as you can. It's not a tragedy if it's a little bit loose. You can always leave it in the fridge and consume it within the next couple of months. But if you want to leave it on a shelf in a cellar or somewhere in your pantry, you have to make sure it's actually sealed. And this is the most terrifying part. Once you cook it on the temperature of 80 degrees Celsius for 30 minutes, you take the jars out and turn them upside down. It is terrifying because I am the final destination generation, so I am always absolutely terrified to death that the jar will slip back and I will end up with burns. Touch wood, it never happened, but you know it could. And if you have a little bit of sugar left at the bottom, it doesn't matter. It will dissolve in time and it's perfectly okay. So this is all from me for my third video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's content. I have just realized when I was editing the last part of the video that I didn't really mention much about the actual water bathing process, so I will make a separate video about this in the future when I've got enough gherkins from the garden. And I will try again to publish these videos more often, but as you can see, everything is still a mess. All the footage that you've just seen is about 2 weeks old, so I'm still trying to catch up. Today it's actually a week since I moved back to the cottage, and it's still not looking that good. I'm still sleeping on a sofa and I've got no running hot water, but it is what it is. And just to show you that I don't take myself and my current situation too seriously, I'm gonna leave you with some bloopers. Be warned, I do swear a lot. For a teacher, I've got a right potty mouth, so I do apologize for that. If you don't want to see that, stop the video now, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care, bye bye. You will be able to see fuck my life. Alright, hi everybody. Well, of course there would be a hornet right now. Are you actually kidding? Are you go away, go away, go away. I'm never gonna record this. That was when I bought this beautiful cottage, which you'll see in a bit. No do prdele už, ty vole. And I hope that a year ago, last summer, I moved down south. Hi everybody, my name is Lucy. Welcome to my channel. And tell you a bit more. It's si děláš prdel, ne, ty vole.